internal and external. It actually, the interesting thing is, awareness actually does have a reality, and that gets totally into the paranormal side of things. But I actually have a physics type explanation of it, which has to do with dimensionality and whatnot, and that will be entirely that'll have to be in a separate thing because that's like, yeah, that's a big chunk. I was talking to one of my sciencey friends the other day and came up with a lot of a lot of good stuff from talking to him. Actually, I was thinking I might get him on here sometime and we'll actually record it. Anyway, anything else to say? Well, a lot of people don't agree in the comments here, obviously, and it's interesting that this guy's name is Cashman. That just goes completely, with the materialistic thing. In my opinion, it's like Cashman says that there is no such thing as free will. Yes, of course. What else would a Cashman say? Just a name I know, but it's a little funny. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with the general gist of a lot of what these posters say, which is just that, well, it's just ludicrous. It's like, well, I disagree with this article, but obviously I'm doing that because of all these unconscious things going on and so on. That's the thing. When you go on about how there's no free will, it's like the conversation ends right there. You know what I mean? It's like if I was talking to some guy and he said, some scientist, and he was trying to convince me that there was no free will. I don't know. I know this is stupid, but at the same time, it's like, why not just kick him in the groin? And it's like, why did you do that? I don't know. I'm not responsible for my own actions. Like, I mean, I know that that's just being a jerk, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as you say that, it's like, why bother discussing anything? Like, why are you a scientist? I guess you had no choice about it, right? And he'd be like, well, that's not exactly what I'm saying. It's like, whatever. The problem is they are completely bound by their a priorities, which is, of course, that everything is mechanistic and time bound. And, this just flat out not true. Chaos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Quantum reality. Entanglement. I mean, entanglement is cool. I got to say, as a quantum fact, because entanglement is basically just the physics term for the fact that everything in reality is connected to everything else in reality. That has basically been proven, and of course, the sages have known that forever because anybody who gets to a certain level of awareness becomes aware of that because awareness is fundamentally non-local. The only reason you feel like you're like, well, my awareness is, I've got my physical body and my eyes and everything like that. Well, again, that just means you've never done any particularly, any real experimentation with your awareness, because people have experienced all kinds of things. Like if you do object meditation, if you meditate on an object sufficiently, many people have described what happens is very consistent. You seem to become the object. You lose awareness of your body, and you actually feel like you're a block of wood or whatever the hell you're meditating on. Essentially, this is sort of a whole other topic, but what's interesting is the conclusion I've come to is that the reason your awareness is so body bound is practice. It's just that I don't know if it basically it's like it developed your whole existence from being a baby all the way up, sort of this raw potential in matter that gets developed. But once it's developed, once it's there, once you're a highly conscious individual, the reason that you feel like you're a body and everything like that is because of practice. You're basically you're the only thing you're used to focusing on is yourself. You're entangled. Your awareness is effectively entangled with your physical form because it's been that way ever since you were before you had a choice about it, essentially. And of course, what's interesting is every time you go to sleep, that's a whole other topic again as well. But what happens is the reason sleep awareness is so different, it's pretty much the same in a way as conscious awareness, as they've shown in a couple of ways. But at the same time, the reason it's different is because you stop having the anchor of your body. You lose like all the awareness that you're unconsciously using to control yourself, to regulate yourself, all this stuff is suddenly freed up. And at the same time, you're not using this as an anchor, so you're exposed to all these other emanations, of outer reality when you're asleep. And the awareness, the shape of your awareness is so different that, of course, it's almost like waking up. You basically wake up, except in dream mode. Bong. And of course, you don't think about being awake at all. You're just like, da-da-da, do your dream things, do all this crazy weird stuff. And then, of course, when you go back to, you wake up, that's why you could have this immensely detailed dream, and then you'll wake up, and then as soon as you get distracted, as soon as you start thinking about normal day-to-day things, the whole dream's gone. It's like it never happened, even though you really had spent like hours, it felt, doing whatever, and it could have been incredibly detailed. They're two separate bodies of experience because your mode is so different. So anyway, it's a fascinating thing. Illusion of free will, blah blah blah. Supernatural. Good Lord. Yeah. Anyway, most people seem to get, they seem to get it anyway. I mean, they instinctively reject, people telling them there's no free will because it's bunk. Anyway, I don't have anything else to consistently talk about right now, so we'll call it a day. Man, 37 minutes, that goes by like lightning. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about my whole theory of the structure of the universe, which explains gravity and a few other things. It's still kind of hard to communicate across, but parts of it are quite clear. And again, I mean, I'm clear on things like I can make predictions based on it. Essentially, you know what I mean? Like I'm clear enough on that. It's just the mechanisms, but mechanisms again. I gotta say, man, I'm not. You figure out the mechanisms to something, then yeah, you can make money off it or technology or whatever. But again, who cares? I mean, it's a very materialistic and shallow way to be thinking. Anyway, so this is Bradley signing off. Have a thoughtful and interesting day. See you on Wednesday, probably.